welcome to our Franchise Expert Showcase, and today we are talking to the lovely Ursula from Rockmybaby. Hello there, Ursula.
Hello, Emma, how are you?
I'm absolutely lovely, thank you. And you?
Perfect, thank you.
Brilliant. I want to start by asking you a quick question of what did you do before you launched Rockmybaby?
My background is within the early childhood sector, and I've been actively involved in the early childhood profession for probably the last 25 years. Previously nannying overseas in the UK, also working in centre-based environments, childcare centres, and that's where I'm trained in. I'm an early childhood teacher, and then obviously I had my first baby as well before I started Rockmybaby, so I became a mum. I grew up and became a mum.
And was that the point where you thought, I can't work in the same fashion that I used to, like so many other business owners who are mums do?
Well, I mean, sort of the inspiration behind Rockmybaby was that it was born through our own need to find a reliable babysitter in our hometown. Because at the sort of time when we did have grandparents around, but both our sets of grandparents were quite young and they had a social life. They were often, quite busy, so we couldn't sort of rely on them. And there was no agency that was set up here in Hawke's Bay, where I come from. So we decided that yes, we'd set up Rockmybaby. There was definitely a need to do that, and sort of due to all my connections that I had in the childcare centres, I had a network of people available to sort of babysit on hand, and I often got requests from friends that were visiting back home, attending weddings and stuff like that, so can you find me a babysitter? So Rockmybaby came about from firstly our own need, and then I realised that there was a gap in the market, and we thought, right, yes, let's give this a go.
I think
so we did, and then what I was just going to say there is that after I had our second child, our other little girl, I had been purely at home and I really wanted to do something, and it just fit. Setting up Rockmybaby seemed to fit in with our current lifestyle, and I could still meet the needs of the children, but yet have something to do too for myself.
Absolutely, and I think that the Rockmybaby model for babysitting is a really interesting one, because so many people go through the whole who's going to babysit the kids if we both go out, and that whole worry that if you have that teenage friend of the family that you end up with other people in your house and your drinks cabinet raided and things like that. And to have professional babysitters is really, really useful, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and I seriously think, gone were the days when I was younger and I was that 14-year-old babysitting, the neighbours' kids down the road. There's not that support network that we seem to have when we were growing up as young children, and I think it's just due to the families are just busy. They don't often get a chance to meet their neighbours, or the grandparents don't live in the same area, and so yes, they do have to obviously come and look at a reputable agency to access the babysitters or the nannies, ensuring that they're all screened and have all those vets that they need to be having, and so you can sort of rest assured that you actually have a professional person looking after your children.
So how did you get to the point of thinking, right, Rockmybaby, I want to franchise this, I want to make it a brand that is, as it is now, a worldwide brand?
I often get asked that question. It happened by default. Initially, when we set this business up, we were just obviously going to do it in our hometown, and what happened there is it naturally grew quite fast, I should say. New Zealanders love to travel, so within New Zealand, we would be going to a different city, and obviously needing babysitters. So there were friends saying, hey, look, do you have babysitters in this city or that city, or where we've got the beach house, etc. And so we decided, oh, we've got some girls that I know there, let's launch in this particular area. And so before we knew it, we had rolled out to everywhere in New Zealand. So it grew quite rapidly, and more so from client demand rather than we didn't at that particular time have a roadmap. It just grew, the business grew. I call it my tiger. It was my roaring tiger. I was able to pull it back quite a bit just to, take a few steps back, because it just exploded in those early days here in New Zealand.
And then how did you end up in other countries? Was that a more structured approach by that point of deciding that you were going to franchise the model out further?
Well, I mean, like I sort of mentioned, it grew through client demand with the rapid growth, but our decision was that we got to the stage where I couldn't operate it all by myself, so we had to look at either employing staff members in each individual city, or we had to look down the franchise route. And initially, within the childcare centre, I wanted to try and stay away from employing staff, and so I thought, right, yes, the franchise system would work for us to continue with our growth, having somebody on that ground floor that knew their own communities could grow the business a lot faster than us just employing somebody to do a job, because they have a vested interest in those particular regions. So that's what we did there. And then again, Australians love to pop across to New Zealand and vice versa, so we just thought another great area to look into was Australia. And actually how it sort of all fell into place there, my nanny had moved over there, so I had somebody on the ground level, and I thought, right, here's our chance. And her boyfriend happened to be a bank manager, so that was quite convenient for us at the time to have somebody that knew our business as bank manager over there as well. And yeah, so then we took on Australia, and that's been quite successful as well.
Fabulous. What do you love about being a franchisor then?
Changing hats, I suppose. There's so many hats I have. I wake up some mornings and go, right, now what's my hat I've got to put on today? I suppose, I mean, I pinch myself sometimes, and still today I'm quite humbled by the network of amazing people that we've created within the Rockmybaby group. And so, we have this collection of passionate, talented, professional franchisees that have a wealth of knowledge, and the desire to sort of help the customers and the nannies and the sitters. And these franchisees understand our business ethics, and I'm really proud and of the network that we sort of created. So I suppose that's what I love about being a franchisor is seeing, looking at my wall and seeing that we're all over the place, and seeing all these people's names that have invested in our business and are doing really well, and meeting the needs of the clients. It's so great that they can meet a need of client. Client needs a babysitter or a nanny quite quickly, and we can make everybody happy.
It's fabulous because
sorry, that's sort of like saying, so when coming back, what do I really love? I love that I've created another family, and that's what I believe all our franchisees are part of the Rockmybaby family. So obviously my immediate family is very dear and important to me, but I have this other little family on the other side, so I love all that.
And it must be lovely to not only see your brand out there, but seeing your wonderful franchisees spreading the word about Rockmybaby.
Oh yeah, Rockmybaby wouldn't be where we are today without these wonderful franchisees, working on our business. So, you need those right people behind you as well, and to support growth in the business.
So what do you look for in a franchisee?
Strong business ethics, is really important, and also what we have found the larger we grow is, you know, the marketing background, time management is a good one as well, also recruitment, you know, skills in the recruitment industry I believe is really important, and then to top it off, just common sense. You know, and common sense is huge when operating a business as well, I think, and what I look for in a franchisee. You know, someone that will fit our business model, work, you know, someone that will work within a team environment, and have the ability to be part of a global network. But then also someone that can also work on their own as well, because part of this job is on your own, but then obviously, you know, part of it's about sharing with other network franchisees as well.
Yeah.
When we all talk every week, all the countries have a weekly catch up, and that's invaluable, and it's really important to feel that there's somebody else out there doing what they're doing and sharing all their ideas, etc., what they've been up to.
Yeah, and that'll give them huge support for if they've got any problems, questions, queries, that they know that there's a catch-up on its way.
Yeah. And within themselves, you know, they make quite little strong friendships, and, you know, which is, some haven't even met, but it's all via Skype or via online. So, you know, that's quite neat to see as well.
What would be your top tip then of what you need to be mindful of as a franchisor when you're looking at franchisees and bringing people into your brand?
I think the top tip would be, you know, believe in yourself, you know, and have a passion for what you're doing, and realising that running your business takes a lot of hard work and time. You know, it's not a quick fix. It takes, you have to be 110% committed. Be patient. Surround yourself, I always say this, surround yourself with a great team, and that includes, you know, your accountant, your lawyer, or your business network expertise, or, you know, those type of things. And then behind that is, if you've got a husband or a partner or whoever that surround your family that support you in what you're doing as well, because I think that's really important. Because you can have some days when, you know, it can be a bit tiring, but if you've obviously got that support, it helps you to be able to do your job.
Yeah.
And then I think, you know, I've got to remember that not one franchisee is going to be like the other. You know, each learn and require different support in different ways and platforms. And, you know, I think that's a big thing as well that you've got to be mindful of as a franchisor.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you do get, you know, whilst you're looking at having a market for similar people buying into your franchise, everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to run their business slightly differently and have different priorities and a different concept of what their perfect work-life balance is, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, some people, you know, like I always say, some people are quite tactful, some people need to read, some people need to be doing things, or you need to show, you know, a little bit differently. So, and you don't know that until you start doing the training with them, or, you know, working with them. So you have to, you know, with your operations manual and your training manual and stuff like that, it's, I tell you what, you've got to be able to adapt it, because, you know, this person might need support in a different way.
Yeah.
Somebody else might absorb it quite quickly and skim right over it, and they're all, you know, all sussed in that particular area. So,
was your operating manual a labour of love?
Oh, labour of love. Labour of love. It's good to have a great operations manual. It's just getting bigger and bigger. Smaller.
Absolutely. I know that every franchisor I've spoken to has said, you know, my operations manual was a labour of love, and it gets changed almost on a weekly basis.
I know, and when I look at sort of the first version, I'm thinking, gosh, I was so green. So good. And when I look at it today, you know, it's, you know, so true. You look at it and you think, great, we're up to date, and then it's like, no, we're not. We're not up to date. We have to, you know, come back in, because it's, I mean, it's a living, breathing document. So it's there the reason it's there is for the benefit of everybody. So it's not something to be afraid of or scared of. I think it's something that, you sort of embrace and go, it's here to help. It's got the tools, and hopefully, as we keep building on this business, we can always adapt and change it and make it, really efficient.
And there'll always be a new question that's raised that can be something else that can be put in there, isn't there? And I think that's how manuals and operating manuals particularly end up evolving, because different people bring different things to the table. So there's different questions.
Absolutely true, because I'm the one writing this manual, so I sort of forget sometimes that I've got all of this in my head, and maybe I haven't explained it effectively enough for a certain type of people. So that's when they ask you that question, you think, right, gosh, I need that to be put in there because I haven't either explained it properly or I've completely gone over it and forgotten about it.
Yeah, I think it's the curse of knowledge, because it's always been your business and you know how it works, and with your experience in the sector prior to that, a lot of it is quite difficult to see where people don't necessarily know about that you thought they would know about.
Absolutely.
So when you have a new franchisee set up, what would be your absolute top of the list of things that they need to think about?
To be patient, to breathe, so I say breathe, and don't be afraid to ask for help and support. That is fundamentally the most important top tip that I've sort of got when they set up, because sometimes some particular people might think, oh, it's a silly question, or we went over that and I've sort of forgotten. But the more you ask and the more you come straight to the point, it can help you, then and there, rather than, feeling too afraid to sort of ask for that help and support. That's what we're here for. I'm glad to hear from people, Any time, day or night, ask me a question, from our perspective, ask me a question and I'll answer it, as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. Yeah.
So there's no such thing as a silly question, and don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, and just be patient. Things happen for a reason. Sometimes it might be lots of various things can hold you up. It could be, setting up with your banking or your merchant facility, all those little things, and can take time. So it's just learning to be patient, and things happen the way they're meant to happen, and it'll be all okay. That's what I say.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you tell us a little bit more about the opportunities that you've got within Rockmybaby?
Well, so Rockmybaby, we've built this on such a robust system, and over past few years we've adapted, adopted, rebuilt, and improved our software to try, to make us the best product in the marketplace that we can be for the nanny and babysitting. As an online business, it's important that we create a safe and secure site for all our users, and so we're committed to ensure that we continue improving our websites for not only our users but for all of our franchisees as well, and that is really important for us so we can continue growing and provide a great platform for our franchisees. So with the Rockmybaby group, we truly are global. We are in New Zealand, we're in Australia, we're in Switzerland, we're in Israel, we're in the UK, and we are hoping to launch into the States next year as part of our next plan. So we have franchises available in all of the countries. Some particular areas are sold, some people, there's quite a few. Well, in the UK we've just set up in the central London, so we've got the rest of the UK up available for franchise areas, and also within Europe as well. We've got a master franchisee in Switzerland, and she's doing incredibly well. And so we've got lots of opportunities within our big global network for people to come on board and be part of this great close network and team.
So how would people find out more? How would they get in touch with you?
Okay, so obviously, I always say, have a look at our websites. Our websites are, all Rockmybaby websites out there. Contact me directly because I'm obviously deal with all the global side of franchisees, selling of those. Or you can contact Tanya in our Switzerland office, but the rest comes through me. So you can email me at ursula@rockmybaby.co.nz, or any other email address that we've got on our website. They can come back through to me. What we do is once you've made contact with us, we'll send through our franchise booklet that just gives you a basic overview of where we're at as a company, where we're planning to sort of head to as well. And then from there we organise Skype calls, have a chat. I think it's really important to have that face-to-face chat in the beginning, just to obviously see if there's we're the right business model for you, and we can figure that out quite earlier in the piece, and then we go through the process of that. If we want to take that to the next level, there's obviously confidentiality forms, application forms, etc., and then because the contracts and agreements and that. So we'd like to hear from anyone that may be interested in the Rockmybaby franchise.
Brilliant, yeah. It's a lovely brand. I love the brand personally. So check out the website even if you're not looking for a franchise opportunity, because it is a beautiful, beautiful brand. I would like to say thank you very much for your time, Ursula, and thank you for answering our questions, and I'm sure that it's been useful for so many people.
Oh, thank you so much, Emma, and you do a fantastic job as well, and I know some of our franchisees are working with you and it's been fantastic, so thank you.
Thank you very much.